Gosh, what have we begun our new year with? An on-our-face Urinegate flying all the way from New York into the national capital. And that too, just as we were wincing in the horror of a woman being knocked down in Delhi and dragged several kilometers to a horrific death. Too much of horror packed into the New Year week. And of course, lessons to learn from. An executive of a multinational company urinating on a 70-year-old in the business class of a New Delhi flight is as weird can get. Damage done? Here are 7 lessons we can learn from Urinegate. 1. News is global, so is its impact. In the internet era, news, good or bad, is local and global, whether we like it or not. So we pump our chests when news spreads about India's G20 presidency. And we flinch when news goes global about we covering up Mumbai slums ahead of a G20 event. There's no covering up the Urinegate affair either. Global media, from Fortune to Bloomberg to our own press trust of India, have to cover it. The Fortune headline goes, Air India slammed for systemic failure after unruly male passenger flying business class urinated on a woman traveling from New York. Air India, which is owned by the Tata Group, said it had banned the male passenger from its flights for a month. Imagine all the damage it does to the Air India brand and the Tata brand. Many Indians may even want the India taken out of Air India if it is bringing disrepute to the country with sloppy service. 2. Swift action speaks louder than words. If you have done wrong, swift, forthright action to make amends is the best PR. Wells Fargo did a remarkable job of sacking the accused employee within hours of the incident coming to light, even before he had given his version. The police FIR and the victim's statement were enough for Wells Fargo to take action. Now consider the snail-like pace at which Air India proceeded about the incident, which we hear happened on November 26. Fortune says, Air India acknowledged receipt of the letter and commenced engaging in correspondence with the affected passenger's family on November 30th. It commenced a ticket refund on December 2nd and convened various meetings in the following weeks. When the victim's family requested on December 26th that the airline lodge a complaint, it did so 2 days later. Wells Fargo could have set up an inquiry committee to look into the matter, and the committee in turn could have spent weeks and months inquiring. But it chose not to. Instead, it sacked the accused employee Shankar Mishra immediately. After all, it can rehire him if he is acquitted. Reaction time is indeed what separates Wells Fargo from Air India. The media statement issued by Tata Sons chairman N. Chandrasekaran admits it. Air India's response should have been much swifter. We fell short of addressing the situation the way it should have been. Fell short? From November 26th to December 26th? PR copy can attempt to couch a disaster in words like fell short, but no company can afford to sit on a crime for a full month and then say we fell short. Without action, the best PR copy can sound hollow. 3. Post-crisis carpet bombing, also called knee-jerk reaction. Because one passenger in Air India could not hold his drink and misbehaved with his co-passenger, Air India CEO Campbell Wilson says the airline will have to review its liquor policy. Visualize the kind of message it sends out to Air India's patrons, that the airline needs to double-check whether its passengers are mature enough and responsible enough to be left with a drink. 4. Punishment partiality. Post Urinegate, the accused Shankar Mishra was slapped with a 30-day no-fly embargo. When comedian Kunal Kamra called journalist Arnab Goswami a coward, Kamra was slapped with a no-fly till further notice. So a lighter punishment for urinating on a co-passenger. Dangerous. Now every passenger knows how to get away with a lighter punishment. Good democracies treat citizens equally. You can't expect that in a society where political leaders zip past in Z category security with dozens of escort vehicles. 5. The staffing riddle. For a country with 1.4 billion people, the biggest advantage, one would think, is in hiring people because there's such a large pool to hire from. But that is also the biggest Indian riddle. Ask any HR person and they'll tell you how difficult it is to find people with the right skills. Even more so to find people with soft skills. We must be forgiving to Air India because it had to hire from India. Lesson 6. Public sector or pathetic sector. Millions of Indian youth dream of getting into government service or the public sector, where they have unsackable jobs, high salaries and virtually no targets. Air India was in the public sector from 1953 to 2022, 69 years. So it will take a while for employees of Air India to make that mental transition from a pathetic public service, which is holding our country back, to a premium private service, which can take the country forward. A video circulating in Kerala this week shows government service at its classical worst. The Development Committee Chairman of the Anjal Panchayat in South Kerala has locked the gates of the Panchayat at 10 a.m. to expose staff who come late.
തോന്നിയ സമയത്ത് വരിക, തോന്നിയ സമയത്ത് പോവുക. എന്നിട്ട് വരുന്ന ആൾക്കാരോട് അവർക്ക് മര്യാദയ്ക്ക് പെരുമാറാതിരിക്കുക. മര്യാദയ്ക്ക് പൊതുജനങ്ങളോട് മര്യാദയ്ക്ക് പെരുമാറുകയും അവരെ ആവശ്യങ്ങൾ സമയബന്ധിതമായി നടത്തി കൊടുക്കുകയും ചെയ്യാം. ഈ സമയം എന്തായിരിക്കുന്ന ക്ലോക്ക്?
Will the staff be bothered? Not at all. They know that at worst they'll get a suspension, like Air India de-rostering its erring staff, which means taken off flying duty. India's pathetic government service is the reason why hardly anybody is enthused when the government says that it will bring foreign universities to India to be regulated by the University Grants Commission. Prompting commentator and writer Pratap Banu Mehta to write in the Indian Express that the UGC is nothing but the University Gimmicks Commission. 7. A compassion for fellow beings. One star who emerges from Urinegate is Dr. Sugata Bhattacharjee, who was a court traveller with the victim in the Air India flight. He stood up for this elderly victim, even while the Air India crew who should have protected her turned a cold shoulder. To do what Dr. Bhattacharjee did requires character. A pity he is yet another Indian who is US based and not in India. Urinegate must leave Air India, the Tata Group and India pissed off. Consider the additional irony. Urinegate happened on 26/11/2022, the 14th anniversary of the horrendous terrorist attack on Mumbai on 26/11/2008. In the first incident, the Tata Group was one of the biggest victims when terrorists ran right in the Taj Mahal Hotel in Mumbai, killing at will. And the Tata Group was one of the biggest stars emerging from the incident, with its humane approach to guests, staff and all stakeholders, even providing relief assistance to handcart vendors who did business outside the hotel. What a pity such an admirable brand is blemished in the stench of urine in 2023. And that too just when Air India is about to place an astounding order for 500 jetliners. Scary what a few staff can do to a brand, Wells Fargo or Air India. This episode of Geometric View salutes P. Geeta from Kozhikode, Kerala. A fortnight before the Air India Urinegate, Geeta was on a Kozhikode Delhi flight to collect the 2020 Florence Nightingale Award at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. 15 minutes into the flight, there was a medical emergency when a 32-year-old army man collapsed, and the crew sought the help of any medical professional on board. Geeta quickly stepped in, provided him CPR and revived him. Who better to receive the National Florence Nightingale Award? Geeta had also won the Kerala government's Best Nurse Award in 2019. Here's my friend, journalist Imran Qureshi of the BBC on P. Geeta.